Alright, welcome everyone to lesson 8 that we're having now. Um, Today we are gonna talk about audio and customizing the editor interface. I've already put the next events, or the next lessons event here, so I almost started talking about that and its topics, but luckily that did not happen. Right, I'm not sharing my screen. Let's not make that mistake again. And here are the topics. Now I come a bit more prepared. We also got them here to look back on. The recording is running. Awesome. Okay, so audio is also pretty important in games. We haven't talked about it because it actually has a few components that should be looked at together with the other stuff. So, for example, if you launch Godot off the bat without doing anything, you're gonna see that in these tabs here, there's audio, and this is also important because these are our audio buses that we can play around with, and you can also apply several effects. So one thing to remember is that everything eventually translates down to the master bus, which will actually execute all the sounds. If I want to add a new bus, this could be, for example, for voice acting, right? You can also adjust the volume of the bus, which basically indicates how loud each sound is gonna be that we play through this bus. And then of course, if you import 100 audio files, there may be some volume differences already, but you have to adjust that externally. So the bus is still gonna increase or decrease the volumes, but first the sound files need unified voice volumes as well for this to work correctly. And then there are some options. You can see the solo, we can mute the bus and also bypass it. Here we can select which bus kind of inherits whatever voice or sound we play here. And then we can add effects. There are just a lot of things to look at here. And I think audio buses are also part of the audio server that I've written up here, because we have a auto or a global class called audio server. And yeah, server interface for low-level audio access. Yeah, this is the buses. You can see all the corresponding methods. So yeah, if you want to play around with that, you can check this audio server, and this lets you toy with buses even inside code. Alright, and to play sounds, actually in game, because we looked at how these buses can interact with each other, but to actually play any sounds, you would need something called a audio stream player. And then we also have audio listener, but audio stream player is what we essentially need to be able to play sounds. And if I hover my mouse over this, you can see it displays positional sound in 2D space, which means that it has a proximity. So if you are if you're at a certain distance from the audio stream player, you won't be able to hear it. I think it will also like gradually have lower volume, and at some point you just won't hear it at all. You can see all the settings here. We have max distance there, and we have all these things to play with, and we also have this bots variable that we've looked at. You know, this can be any of the boxes that we have created here. And the sound you have to play, you have to like insert it into the stream variable, and you can actually create a bunch of things here. You can see we have quite a few types. And typically if you import something, they will already be like present with the right resource type. So, you know, you can use WAV, MP3, and OGG as well. And of course, you can always just, if you have a different sound format that Godot doesn't support, then you can just convert those online, and even some programs support that. But then again, if you're making a sound, you can just, you know, export it in the according file format. So if you look at the documentation, we have a play function that we will need to use to like actually execute the audio. And then we also have seek, which says the position from which audio will be played. So, you know, if you want to play something from the middle of it, you can just set that. And this is in seconds, I believe. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is actually here. It is in seconds, the argument. Now, it could be a bit like annoying if you like have a game and you have like a bunch of sound effects you can possibly make, and then just all the background music, all the music layers, maybe if you're doing that. So actually right now in Godot 4, I don't think there is a reasonable and sensible sound manager plugin that would solve this all, because in Godot 3 there's one that basically lets you play any sounds, and it handles the creation of these notes for you. So it's like you input what sound you want to make or play, and then it will do the job for you. Basically, like that's the gist of it, and it's pretty useful. And I think I will at some point write a plugin for that for Godot 4, because even the one we have in Godot 3 is pretty like convoluted, but it does the job. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we haven't actually talked about grabbing plugins yet, but that's coming in like the I think it's in the 10th lesson, so 2 weeks from now. But I can just show you in advance that you can grab any of the assets here that were made. Actually, I just talked to someone as well about that sound manager plugin, so I may make it at some point, like in the foreseeable future. But yeah, anyway, this can be automatized pretty easily. So you wouldn't need like 100 different stream players for like all the different sound files, you know. If code can do the work for you, and you can actually create your own sound manager plugin that also works. But yeah, it also can be done manually if you want to do that, or if your game is not too like heavy on different sounds. Okay, next up we have the So it's written as tool keyword. But what this really means is that we can write code that will execute even while we are messing around here in the editor. And that can be useful if you want to preview something. For example, if you want to like generate the grid for your game right from the editor without having to start the game. So you can just go ahead and do that by like pressing a button or something. So I'm gonna show you, and we'll just make, yeah, let's make this body move. We're messing with sine and cosine here. Now let's just actually yeah, we can keep this circular motion. So what we need to add to the script is the tool annotation, and this will make the script run in the editor. Now it's not happening because actually we need to restart to be able to like achieve its effect. And I'm not blaming Godot for that. It's completely fine. So now you can see we're in the editor, and yeah, the script is running. The process and setting the position. And you can also see that the script icon, it became bluish, right? And that indicates if a script can be run in the editor. There's also a way to distinguish whether we are like playing from the editor or not. And that is accessed from the engine global class, and it is like, yeah, it's called isEditor hint. If you look at it, this is what it says. And it even says that it's useful for tool scripts. So let's make the script work so that it only executes, like the motion only happens when we are in the editor. So now it's running, but if I launch the game, it will not do anything, right? It stays static. And like the code is still running here because this is a different like instance of the entire scene, right? When we run the game, it is completely different. And you can also check where you are like playing a build in the editor or whether you have like exported an actual game build. And we will also look into that. I think it's good enough for later lessons, although we can just look at it right now. So when we export, we can use this has feature function, and basically this just gives tags to the game build, or just the information about the operating system. And you can read this. It is basically saying what I've said. And we have the feature text documentation. This actually takes me out to the website. And here are all the tags that could be included. And one of them is editor. So if I launch the game, then and print as feature editor, this is going to return true, and it returns true already because the script runs in the editor. And if I were to export this build now, which we haven't done yet, but we will do it at the end, then you will see that this will return false. A bad connection. I hope that gets resolved. think my connection should be good. So we got the tool keyword and also the audio, and then now we're gonna look at customizing the inspector. We have we have looked at export and exporting stuff. With the export annotation, we can expose variables to the inspector, but that's not all. That's not everything we can do. So I'm gonna stay on the level script, and if I hit the add symbol, we're gonna see we actually have a lot of options. So we can categorize things to begin with, and you can see this takes a name as the parameter. So if I say, sure, we could just copy paste this. Oops, my bad. There we go. So basically this creates a header or something like that for the variables. Yeah, by the way, pretty good examples for when you may need the tool keyword. Yeah, exactly. It is also useful when you just want to get a level generated, so like a grid, and then you want to customize it yourself. If like you have a huge 20 by 20 grid, then you could get all the cells generated, and you can just like customize whichever cells you want to. And of course the default that the code generates should be the most common, so that you don't have to do that much work. And yeah, it is also useful for debug graphics and drawing gizmos. Okay, so this is what a category is. It's basically the thing you see with the class names. It's the same kind of separator. And then we have exported group, which is kind of similar. It is like these things. I would say that this makes categorization cleaner than actual categories, because I like how right now these header kind of things exist to separate different classes, different variables. So yeah, there's that. And if we just go through these, you can see there's just a lot of things. There's a range, which is kind of useful. So we need to define the minimum, the maximum value, and the step amount. So this creates a slider basically, and you can see we are stepping by, wait, why are we stepping by 2? Oh, is it because, wait, that's weird. Wait, what? Oh, right, now it's thinking it's an integer or something. Yes, we're stepping. I think it just gets rounded up, because we should be stepping by 0.25, and then now if we are at 3, then we will be at 3.3, but if you round up 3.25, that is 3.3, and then we arrive at 3.5. That's strange, I guess, but that's Godot for you. Okay, if we keep it at 1 decimal, that looks accurate though. Yeah, and then you can just play around with this. There are a lot of things. I think we also have a description somehow. I can't recall off the top of my head how to access that, but go to the description. Well, yeah, we have this variable actually, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the thing that you, for example, see when I hover over position. And I'm convinced I've used this once. But if you cannot find it, that's okay, I guess. Oh, wait, I think I know. This is dumb. Yeah, yeah, this is it. Double hashtag. That's just literally it. That's how you create the editor description for the variables. Tooltips. Oh, you mean the things I was looking for? Yeah. Yeah, and that's a pretty good page actually. Yeah, I was reading this page the other day. It's also pretty useful. It has all these things shown. And then you can also put links in here, I guess. But yeah, this is basically the most important thing. In Unity, I know that it has, what do you call it? The serializable field attribute, and then you can like put the, wait, no. Is that how you do it? I'm a bit rusty in Unity, but I remember you had to use an attribute to be able to create a tooltip for a variable. I think yes, serializable will further expose the variable to the Unity inspector. I'm just not sure if that's also what you assign the description with anymore. See, I've written so much Unity code and still I forgot because I've been just living in Godot. But I think this is basically all that we have to go through today. We can look at some of the other things, like we can also export a color, although if we just do this by default. So the difference is that here we cannot modify the alpha value. You can see it's missing, but if I do this, then the alpha can be adjusted. And you can also export enums, but you just have to set the names here. So like if I want A, B, and C, then you can just pick any of those. And then you can also, I think, just export an enum with the actual enum type. Like that. Yeah, same thing. Alright. I think that's it for this lesson. So Thank you for being here, guys, and I'll see you next week.